Today I fricked up. Phoenix Galaxy says, today I fricked up be laughing when my mom wanted me to use my autism card to turn down a military recruiter. My mom is in the military. I've seen her go from seeing her happy to a consistent level of annoyed every day. Seeing how she now has a permanent injury thanks to a doctor ignoring her no trainee specifications made me not want to join, and she knows this and encourages me not to join under no circumstances. Thanks to her military benefits I will go to college almost fully paid. Lately she's been encouraging me to go to college, so I basically picked one community college that was close and one culinary college that was in another date by accident. At some point a military recruiter called my mom asking for me, and she said something to the effect of I don't think he wants to do that, but I won't speak for him. She then called me over, and I was caught off guard, so I'm stammering over my words. No matter what I say he's trying to get me to go. I say I have bad vision. Hey man, me too. I'm more interested in culinary. We have kitchens in here. I don't have a lot of stamina, don't worry. We can train for that. My mom whispered to say that I had asthma, like a dumbass. I didn't get the hint and didn't lie. So my mom whispered in my ear to say tell them about your autism. This shit broke me, and I started trying laughing silently. Somehow we got this dude to hang up, and he said he'll call you in a few months. My mom asked me why I didn't tell them about her being my reason not to join or my autism, which in turn would have disqualified me from being picked. I apologized and said I was caught off guard and overwhelmed. Pulling the autism card never occurred to me since I don't use it. A long lecture about growing up and how I'm almost a man later, and here we are. She said she won't always be able to help me too long. Didn't read. Military recruiters called my mom to get me to enlist, but was so persistent that my mom wanted me to pull my autism card to disqualify me from being picked. I was so shocked I started laughing and ended up aggravating my mom. Scotch Carb says, why wouldn't you just say no and hang up? Robdal says, some people try to be as nice and honest as possible when rejecting someone and often end up shooting themselves in the foot instead. Phoenix Galaxy says, that hit way too close to home. I just hate coming off as mean Feo. 4channeling says, here's what you say when he calls next. No. Don't call me again. Really nice guy says, sorry, I don't want to get a not service related injury. L0C0 Pet says, I don't think killing for money aligns with my moral code, but good luck finding those where it does. Fruit Joe says, what's the foo? Cat like Sparky says, total nothing burger lol. Zeta Delta 333 says, Op and Ops mom doesn't realize most of the military has autism. I saw it when I was in, and I had it when I was in. Lol. Vatha says, in the future, it may be useful for you to learn to shut down a conversation you have no interest in. Thank you, I'm not interested. Is a complete sentence and a final answer. My usual follow-up is usually, I have already told you once, politely, that I'm not interested in this. Please do not make me told you once more, less politely. Penguin says, agreed. However, my mom whispered to say that I had asthma. Having someone right next to you prompting you with bad advice can interfere with that. Worry Downer 2007 says, slightly off topic, but I had recruiters come to my school, talk to us the whole class, and ask us to fill out a recruitment form under the guise of it being a survey on how they did. This information survey asked us about our 18th birthday, phone number, and address along with other stuff. Kylan says, the only things you should say to a military recruiter trying to convince you to join are, no. And what part of no was unclear to you? Nailbutter says, it's a recruiter, not a draft enforcement officer. You don't need to give them a reason. Just say no and hang up. Displacedbitmina says, lol. Autism isn't a disqualifier. Hell, the Navy nuclear power program relies on it and is weaponized autism. I am Pa says. This isn't a TIFU. Kayakers and says. Does autism actually disqualify you from military service? My friend is in army and has autism. Pucky says. I'm English. What's the American for get? Frick, Ed, and don't call here again. Today I fricked up. Frivolous in turn says. Today I fricked up be minimizing a coworker's future doctor's awards before I found out they were about to go into surgery with said doctor. A coworker was reading aloud some doctor's website when I walked into work. They were essentially reading out all the awards said doctor had received. Lots of posters and such. I essentially said PSH, all those things are so bogus, and the last one was 2017. What a loser. I dunno why I said that. I just thought we were just shooting the shit. At which point another coworker, justifiably, said, in a snappy tone, well, this is her surgeon, so you probably ought to walk that back. I pretty much just stumbled out a row, damn. Sorry. I don't know Jack. Don't listen to me. I'll need a break. I'll cover for you. Which the painfully took me up on. I have never wanted to be so, frick, I'm small in my whole life. It's a new job too. These people don't know me considering just never coming back. Too long, didn't read, today I fricked up be minimizing a coworker's future doctor's awards before I found out they were about to go into surgery with said doctor. Denodidad says. It's weird that you would say any of that at all for no reason. It's typical for you to have a knee-jerk reaction to diminish someone else's accomplishments? To immediately disparage someone without reason? A lot to unpack there. Frivolous in turn says. Lol, you're telling me. I'm in the middle of what I'm pretty sure is the end of my 13-year relationship. I'm sorta at my lowest right now and desperately trying to fit into a new social dynamic in an attempt to find something to have to call my own after my divorce. My self-esteem is, frick, I'm rock bottom, and I'm almost certainly lashing out in a sense of hopelessness. Florida Chorus says. The good news is you're self-aware enough to see that, so you can work on it. Tons of people would never notice and would just go through life continuing to lash out at others. I hope things get less stressful for you soon. Spasmouse21 says. You foo. Apologize and do your best to get back in their good graces if you need to be there. Not the end of the world. Do great work there, and that will replace memories of foo. Good luck. Nilzatron says. This is a good time to learn to humble yourself. Mslogafile says. Lol. What's your job? Just curious. Miss Ritter says. Yeah, that sucks and may become one of those memories that will haunt you as you try to sleep. But I think you recovered as best you could. I suggest next time you're alone with the surgery getting coworker is to just humble yourself and apologize again and explain it was a bad choice to be snarky, especially because you do not know everyone well. Make a self-deprecating joke about your lack of social skills and or ability to deliver quality snark and say you were just acting that way because you are still the new person and you wanted to fit in with the group. Bring a get well or thinking of you type card with maybe a small plant or bouquet of flowers wishing them a speedy recovery. And LPT, back off on the snark. You're at work and should practice maintaining a friendly yet detached persona. Those people are coworkers, not friends. Even if you are or become friends outside of work, you should strive to maintain a professional level at work. Good luck, Opus. I hope everyone warms up to you soon. Eden Lilla says. Bro really roasted the doctor before finding out they're about to be in their hands for surgery. That's peak foot in mouth energy. Just act like you were testing their loyalty to their surgeon and move on. Shaman93 says. What even are your qualifications to comment on the validity of those awards anyway. Stupid and confused says, at least if their surgery goes tits up you can them all they should listened. Ralph Arias says, unless it was a breast augmentation, in which case good job, surgeon. r/today I fricked up. Celestia says, today I fricked up be cremating my teddy bear. This didn't happen today, technically, the entire story takes place over the course of 20-ish years. So allow me to start at the beginning. My papa was my person. I won't go into the details of our relationship as it's not relevant, but he was my favorite family member. We were thick as thieves. When I was 5, for Valentine's Day, he bought me a little red and white teddy bear that would sing My Girl by The Temptations when you squeezed it. I named it Teddy, after the person who gave it to me. My papa's nickname was Ted. I can still see the scene of him gifting me the bear in my mind's eye. This is likely one of my earliest memories, and one of my most cherished. I was 11 when my papa died, after a 2-year battle with lung cancer. I was devastated. I had been informed of the cancer and his limited time on earth a year earlier, but nothing can prepare you for watching your person wither away from treatment and then die. Especially not as a child. I have barely any memories from his funeral. I was so traumatized that I subconsciously blocked most of them. I can remember my nana trembling with grief as she pressed her fingers to her lips, then pressed those fingers to his coffin. But there's not much else. Fast forward over the next 15 years, I can't find Teddy, the treasured token of my grandfather's love. It took me a few years after his death to realize it, but it's gone. I tore apart my bedroom more than a few times trying to find the abyss where the stuffed bear could fallen into. I go through all my storage boxes throughout my teenage years and into my early 20s, nothing. By the time I'm 23, I've accepted that I've lost it. My beloved Teddy is gone forever. And I have no idea how I could been so careless with something so precious to me. I moved out at 25. This was my last attempt to find Teddy. Still no sign of it, and I resign myself with the fact that it's truly gone. The year after I moved out, I'm at dinner with my family and some family friends. Someone asked me what tattoos I have lined up. To my mother's annoyance, she hates tattoos, and I mention my papa's bear. While I was on the topic and had my mother available, I asked her what might have happened to Teddy. She looked surprised and says, "You don't remember? We asked you if you'd wanted to put anything in papa's coffin to be cremated with him, and that bear was what you chose." And that's when everything made sense. Teddy was with papa the whole time. I couldn't find it because it had been reduced to ashes. I hadn't even thought to ask my parents what had happened because I'd been so ashamed to have lost Teddy, and that grief was mine alone. My papa's urn wasn't interned until my grandmother passed, which was 14 years after his passing. For a good chunk of those years, my papa's ashes were housed in my bedroom for safety because our house was being renovated. I had spent countless hours searching my room for Teddy, not realizing that it was keeping papa company only a few feet away. Like I said, I have almost no memories from the day of my papa's funeral. To this day I still cannot recall physically putting Teddy in the coffin. I drove myself insane for 15 years trying to find Teddy, and I do feel a bit silly having shouldered this burden alone for so long when the answers were so accessible, but I'm incredibly relieved that Teddy was always with papa. Present day, it's been 2 years since my mother's revelation of my beloved Teddy's location, demise. For my 28th birthday in July, I'd asked for tattoo money from my partner. Papa's 17th death anniversary was just before this past Christmas. It's always been an incredibly hard day. So I decided to make it a little brighter this year. I was able to find a photo of the exact singing teddy bear on Google for the artist to reference. It's still healing, but now both papa and I have piece of Teddy, permanently. Too long, didn't read, thought I had lost my cherished teddy bear that was a gift from my deceased grandfather, turns out it was with him the entire time. I put the bear in his coffin, to be cremated with him. Papa has the real teddy, I have a tattoo. Coffee Busbus says, you should post a picture to r/plushes to see if someone can find your bear. It might provide you with some comfort. Z Vanquish Ix says, while the story is heartfelt, these posts really need to end. This isn't a today I fricked up and I'm getting awfully tired of the wasn't today, but 20 years ago posts. Montana Red says, yeah, not a today I fricked up but a really beautiful story nonetheless. I hope you show us the tattoo op. Adrian says, well, at least Teddy didn't have to endure any more awkward Valentine's Day songs. That's one way to ensure a bear's eternal devotion. Iris Starflow says, wow, what a roller coaster, from the heartbreak of losing Teddy to the bittersweet realization that he was with your papa all along. This is like a movie plot twist that hits you right in the feels. It's beautiful that you carry Teddy's legacy with that tattoo. October says, he was with him the whole time. I'm not crying, there's just something in both my eyes. That's all for this video. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe.